King Von's murder didn't just shake the streets. It split the rap world in half. The night he died, the game lost more than just a rapper. It lost a storyteller, a soldier, a father, and to some, a legend in the making. But while fans
What he told me, he was using her for clout. He didn't really like her.
mourned his death, those closest to him started fighting over something even more dangerous: control of his legacy. His sister, Kayla B., didn't waste time pulling the trigger on a firestorm that's still raging today. In a moment that went viral overnight, Kayla went live on Instagram and dropped the kind of bombshell that rewrites everything. She claimed Von never really loved Asian Doll, that their whole relationship was just for clout. Her exact words? "He told me he didn't even like her." Just like that, the internet exploded. Some believed her, others defended Asian Doll, pointing to the tattoos, the public grief, and the way she broke down after his death. But this wasn't some petty argument over love. This was the beginning of a public war that exposed old wounds, loyalty lines, and the bitter truth about what really happens when fame, violence, and grief collide. Asian Doll clapped back, insisting her love for Von was pure. She said she was with him through his come-up, through the pain, through the streets. And those tattoos? They weren't for attention. They were for love. I lost my...
Yeah. Now, you mentioned another name that was really respected in Chicago, and that's 051 Melly.
Yeah, Melly.
Yeah, he didn't rap, really respected. A lot of fans, especially after he passed, a lot of fans, start posting his IG lives, and you were cool with him, but it seems like, before he passed, he would, say stuff to King Von. He would say stuff to Dirk. How did that friendship, how was that, knowing that he, was dissing your brother, and your brother would say certain stuff to him and things like that?
Yeah, like I told you, I had been cut all of them off like that 2015. 2014, 2015, I had been cut all that ass off. He used to always inbox me like, "Damn, Faves, like, you don't fuck with me no more." Like, damn, like, cause man, we had a real relationship, like, we was real close. Like, he ain't play about me either, which is like, I won't about to do that to my folks. I'm grown now, like, I'm older now. I know what's going on. Like, I can't do that shit, like, to my folks. Like, I'm over here, like, for sure, 100%. She's like, that shit, 2014, 2015, we all young. Like, I want. And I used to see them arguing and shit like that, though. I used to still mind my business and shit like that, though. Because I'm a female at the end of the day, but certain shit I'm going to get in, certain shit I'm not. It's like, I don't know. I feel like that would have been kind of lame for me to, like, say too much when I used to fuck with this nigga. I know his mama, little sister, brothers, and all that. Like, I used to be spending out over his house and shit because my friend was going with him and shit like that. Like, I had a real relationship with some of these niggas. I, like, know most of their mamas and shit. So it's like, I wasn't finna be on that no lame shit with a lot of them, so I used to just be quiet, like, and stay in my lane. Let my brother handle that.
Yeah, that's solid. So, was Melly really what the street said he was?
I don't know. I went with him. I really don't know. You would hit some shit. It's like, I don't know. I don't really know about what nobody got going on with the streets that it is. I stay in my lane with shit like that.
Now, 600 Breezy recently went on Vlad TV. He said that King Von told 600 Breezy that the young boy was going to shoot up his house.
Twin's soul, she wrote after Von's death. "He wasn't just a man to me. He was my everything." But behind that public heartbreak was something much darker. Insiders from Von's own camp started speaking out. One claimed the relationship was toxic from the jump, a cycle of breakups, jealousy, cheating rumors, and social media stunts. Another, who remained anonymous, said Von once admitted, "She loved me more than I loved her, and I used that." Whether that's true or not, one thing is clear. Their relationship wasn't simple. It was chaotic, and it ended in tragedy. But the chaos didn't stop with them. While Asian Doll grieved online, Kayla B stepped into a role nobody saw coming: self-declared protector of Von's image. She made it her job to shut down every false narrative, every fake friend, every clout chaser trying to rewrite history. But not everyone appreciated her bluntness. Some fans began calling her out, saying she was doing more harm than good, that her constant feuds were turning Von's legacy into a circus. Meanwhile, silence came from the people Von left behind the most: his children, and their mothers. While they never stepped into the spotlight, sources close to the family said the drama made it impossible to grieve. One of Von's baby mothers reportedly said, "We have kids asking questions no mother should have to answer. And instead of peace, all they see is people fighting over his name." Those kids, 3 of them, are growing up with a father known more for headlines than hugs. And as the internet debates who loved Von most, his children are left with echoes. Then there's Quando Rondo, the man on the other end of that fatal night. He insists it wasn't supposed to go down like that. That Von ran up on him and his crew first, that it was self-defense, not murder. Surveillance footage supports some of that. Von did throw the first punch. But what happened next was irreversible. Lil Tim, Rondo's close friend, pulled out a gun and fired. Von was hit multiple times. He was rushed into a car by his team trying desperately to save him. But by the time they reached the hospital, he was gone. 26 years old. Gone. The cops arrived late. Too late. And as the streets buzzed with rumors, pain, and rage, Lil Tim was charged, but later released under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law. To Von's family and fans, that felt like a slap in the face. No justice. No closure, just more pain. Lil Durk, Von's closest ally, wasn't about to let it go. To him, this wasn't just about a lost friend. It was personal. Durk saw Von as a little brother, someone he brought into OTF and tried to guide toward greatness. So when the law failed, Durk allegedly took matters into his own hands. Court documents later revealed an alleged murder.
And it's going viral all over social media right now. A lot of people are calling 600 Breezy a rat or whatever. I know you probably seen it. It's everywhere. What was your thoughts on what 600 Breezy said about your
Breezy
brother?
needs to stop doing interviews. For real, for real. Like, he needs to stop. Like, and stop answering certain questions. Like, you see me, like, you don't gotta really say too much. Like, even if Von did have that conversation, like, you know what's going on. Like, that shit ain't doing shit, but picking that shit back up, like, have a motherfucker say lame ass shit. Like, Breezy cool, I fuck with him, but it's like, I don't know, some shit you can just keep to yourself.
For hire plot that pointed straight to Durk. According to the feds, he funded a team of 5 to hunt down Quando Rondo. Flights were booked. Hotels paid for with OTF money. Targets tracked. Bullets fired. And although Rondo survived, his cousin Lil Pab was killed. The streets called it karma. The courts called it conspiracy. And Durk? He's now awaiting trial with no bail, accused of orchestrating the most high-profile retaliation in recent rap history. But even as he sits behind bars, his music keeps dropping cryptic, aggressive, mournful, like letters from a soldier still in the war. And in the shadows of all this chaos, voices keep rising. DJ Academics, one of the most controversial voices in hip-hop media, called the Von saga one of the darkest, most complicated stories the industry's ever seen. He hinted that more is coming: unseen footage, hidden messages, buried secrets that could shake everything again. Memo 600, once one of Von's closest allies, went quiet, deleting tweets, refusing interviews. But the old posts still haunt the timelines. Tweets of loyalty, betrayal, suspicion. And Lil Reese, the veteran from Chicago who's seen it all, posted one haunting line: "They ain't ready to tell the truth about Von." What truth? That's the question everyone's afraid to answer. Even Von's manager Track has started opening up. In interviews, he's described Von as a man at war with himself, trying to leave the streets behind but dragged back by loyalty, paranoia, and pain. He was investing in real estate, planning a youth center, writing songs that showed a different side of him. But the streets don't care about your plans, they care about your past. Von's past was Parkway Gardens, O Block, a place soaked in violence, survival, and blood. He wasn't just from it, he was shaped by it. Nicknamed Grandson because he reminded people of BD founder David Barksdale, Von was more than a rapper, he was a symbol. And that symbol came with enemies. He was allegedly tied to several bodies, most notably the murder of Gakira Barnes, a feared female gang member. Though no charges ever stuck, the streets whispered, and the whispers never stopped. That made Von a legend. But it also made him a target. He wasn't just rapping about war. He was living in it. Every move came with risk. Every show, every post, every person around him. Danger followed like a shadow. And when he tried to pivot, to focus on being a father, a businessman, an artist, it was already too late. What's left behind is a story that won't rest. Kayla B still fights to control Vaughn's image. Asian Doll still defends their love. Quando Rondo keeps his head low but his name loud. Lil Tim walks free but forever watched. And Lil Durk waits for a trial that could end his empire. Meanwhile, the blogs dig deeper. Fans choose sides. And Vaughn's kids grow up hearing more about bullets than bedtime stories. Everyone in this story has something to protect, something to prove, or something to hide. But the biggest question still remains: who really loved Vaughn and who just loved the spotlight he left behind?